Hello, good afternoon, good evening, good night to everyone that is here tonight. We have a special guest on the around table. We're not going to be before you long. We're just going to get in here. We're going to say some things. We're going to talk about some things. We're going to share some things. But first, let me tell you who I am. My name is Juanita Adate, and this is the around table. And we're coming on here. I share information. Put the spotlight on others, on their businesses, different things. So that's what we are here doing tonight. And I'm just waiting for my click, and I can see people coming in. Welcome in. As y'all come in, please share um, this live. Let people know that we're here because this is very important what we're talking about tonight. This session tonight is called The Temple. Okay, so this is going to be, thank you. It's going to be our first session. There I am. Okay, it's our first session for this topic. And my brother here, Isaac, is going to take over as I step in the background and have your way with everything. Hi, Mama Beverly. All right, so take over, my brother.
Okay, thank you for the opportunity. So I'm here today just to give people information and just for eating healthy. Our body is a temple of the Holy Spirit. God requires us, the minimum to do is to return that favor by taking care of our body, to take care of the spirit that he's given onto us. But we understand we are in a world, and world has worldly things and worldly people, and they may not follow God, they may not think away of God, and they have other motives that are in their mind that are more important than taking care of people. So we have to understand in our country, we have one of the worst FDAs and food administrations because we are a capitalist country. It's all about the dollar, about making as much money as possible. If you have the right money, you can get anyone to agree or approve of anything. That's how we ended up with this whole fentanyl epidemic, is because the FDA was able to approve a drug which everyone knew was toxic, and they got into the mass market and it started killing people and making people become addicts. Similar things happen with the food. If you have enough money in their pocket, they'll approve things that are toxic. Right now, I believe we're up to 560 toxic ingredients that are in our food that no one has in their food in any other country. A lot of my information I get is out of the EU. What they do is they give federal dollars to a third-party company that they can do any research, any studies they want on anything involving food to prove that it's safe for the people. In America, the only thing that controls what studies are done is actually the food company. So if I'm giving a college $60 million and I'm telling them, hey, I want you to research my food, but if I don't like what you tell me, I'm not going to give you no more money. So that college is going to do whatever it takes, or that agency is going to do whatever it takes to make sure that food can get approved or that food deemed healthy. We've seen that with the American Heart Association. Back in the 60s, I believe, or the 70s, they were saying pork was fine, pork was heart healthy, and they were funded by the pork industry. Now they got funded by the chicken industry. So now pork is going to kill you. Pork causes cancer. Pork is going to give you a heart attack. You're going to die from strokes, from eating too much pork. Don't eat pork. And now the new push now is go 100% vegan. Go to all vegetables. Don't eat no meat at all, because now the agriculture industry is in, and they're doubling up the money. And that's where the big push is. So we have to understand that corporations know how to manipulate things. The biggest debt to corporations when it goes to making food is not chefs, not cooks, which should make sense. If I'm making a food to the market, I want to have the best cooks and the best chefs possible to make sure this stuff is good. They don't have any of that. They actually pay food scientists. Food scientists is a salary of $160,000 up to $200K a year. Their job is to manipulate whatever they make to make you think it tastes good. We have tons of artificial flavorings, colorings, and dyes. And some people, very rare, some people can actually taste the chemicals in the artificial flavoring and coloring. Most people cannot. They usually have like a weird aftertaste. And how it works is You normally see it a lot with breakfast cereals, especially Pop Tarts. That's a big one. When like the strawberry flavor Pop Tarts, or even with Oreos, you got Oreos with different flavors. So how it works is they make what they think looks like food. They go to the food scientists to make you think it tastes like what they wanted. Most artificial flavoring tastes 100% like chemicals. What food scientists do, they actually mix chemicals together. They get a huge study. Best way I put it, they'll get like 500 people. They give them all a strawberry. They all eat the strawberry. They actually record their blood, they record their brain, and see how the body actually reacts to that strawberry. And now what they do is they make chemicals to make that same impulse in your brain and your body. So when you eat the fake strawberry jelly, your brain will tell you it's strawberries when it's not strawberries at all. You only notice it with the aftertaste. You get this weird, funny aftertaste in the back of the mouth. That's very notorious for people who do diet sodas, diet cokes. You get this weird aftertaste at the end of it. That's all the chemical sugars setting in. Now, I tell everyone to, if you really want to try this out, Dunkin' Donuts, heavy in artificial sugars, artificial fats. If you notice, when you go to the menu, they always have a donut with the coffee, a bagel with a coffee. The scientists have found out if you wash down what you eat with something warm, you will not taste the artificial chemicals that are in it. So if you have time, go to your Dunkin' Donuts, get a cream-filled donut, or get one of those nice flavored frosted donuts, eat one, and just drink water. You're going to see what happens to your mouth. It's going to get very waxy. Anything you eat after that is going to taste like that donut, because it's chemically tricking your brain to think that strawberry donut or that strawberry frosting, even the chocolate frosting, is making you think everything put in your mouth is going to taste like that when it's really not. And that's the trick with these artificial flavorings. You're not tasting flavors. You're tasting 100% chemicals. Your brain doesn't know that. So it's making you think that what you're eating is that. Now, the problem what we run into is we get so comfortable because we have busy lives. We have work, kids, after school activities. Sometimes we have elderly people we got to take care of. We got other families we got to take care of. We got kids that don't even hours we got to take care of, nieces, nephews. We always are trying to find ways to save time. And when you're dealing with kids, you're always trying to keep them quiet. You're not trying to go in the supermarket, have a screaming kid. Yeah, just get that, be quiet, just eat that. So like McDonald's is notorious for it. Elmer's glue, it has a bull on it. The reason the bull is the logo is because Elmer's glue is made out of the hooves of the animals. There's something that's actually called meat glue, where they can take bits and chunks of random meat pieces, use this glue, which is makes the same thing, mush it together in any shape they want. And then when they cook it, they flavor it, it will look like what you think it is. That's what the chicken nuggets are made out of. That's why the chicken nuggets and the burgers can sit. They always, if you look online, you can see it. They got people who have McDonald's burgers for 10 years. They look exactly the same because of all the chemicals that are in it. French fries. This guy had a pack of French fries in his car for 3 years. He did it by accident. He cleaned out his car. They were mint condition, even still smell like they were fresh because all the artificial chemicals. And it's a shame, but it's what happens. So what the industry basically says is, we know the rules of the FDA and we're going to manipulate it. They're notorious for playing semantics. They'll play with words so they won't get in trouble. We actually have a non-GMO certification label that can be put on foods that are certified. They can actually make the fake label and they have it on their actual jars, because the front, there's no rules on what you can put on the front of packaging, only on the back. So they'll take the non-GMO certified label, take out the certified part, have it on the front of the box, and have it in black and white, and you'll think it's the same label, and you just grab it, not looking at it. And if you try to complain that, oh, this is non-GMO, I'm going to sue you, you can't. I never said it was non-certified GMO. I just said non-GMO. If I'm selling you beans, the beans could be GMO. I could just put water in it, and I could be like, no, the water's not GMO. Never said which one was not GMO. It's semantics, and that's how they do to get around things.
Brother Isaac, you got to go back to that because you said a lot right there. The question is, what's on the front How do we tell? Because you said it's certified on the front, but we got to look on the back to say
Yeah,
what.
everything's on the back, and that's what I'm gonna leave. Everything is on the back. Everything that's all important about the food is on the back. I'm not a health coach. I'm not a health guru. I'm not a health degree. I have a history degree, and I'm taught how to research. I'm taught how to research things. And in college, they teach you history is written by the people that won. The people that lose don't write the history books. They have no say in it. So same thing with the industries. I am in charge. I have the big bucks. It is what I say it is. So now we have to do the due diligence to care for ourselves, because if you really look at the grand scheme of things, we are paying every day to poison ourselves. And then you send home, why is me? Why am I sick? Why is my kid sick? Why does my kid have ADHD? You're poisoning them without even realizing it. So you got to pay attention. The main focus I'm going to really focus on with everyone is ingredients. They know people aren't going to waste their time reading it. So they'll put right in the ingredients label everything they use. They'll change the words. Same thing with medications. You go by medications, you got the name brand, and you got the generic. Everybody knows the name brand because that's an easy name. The generic, you don't know what that name is, but that's the actual name of the drug. So they'll twist it and they'll put things on the back. Oh, you want to talk about sugar addicts? I'm going to get there. I'm going to get there right after this. So they'll play with words. And you'll never know because no one takes time. And unfortunately, they know that. And unfortunately, what you notice is inner cities where they know people are lower educated has the worst food, because what they know is they're going to make you sick, and they know you're on a budget. So I'm going to sell you garbage because it's cheap, and you're going to keep on buying no matter how sick you get, because that's all you can afford. You're going to see Dollar Generals. You're going to see Save-A-Lots. You're going to see Family Dollar, and you're going to end up grabbing that. Yes, Pop-Tarts, that's the main one. Yep, artificial sugar to give them that first thing in the morning. Also, Pop-Tarts has something else in it, but I'm going to go to that. But actually, let me jump into it. So our food pyramid, unfortunately, is built based on what our country grows the most. The whole point of our food pyramid is to make us buy what our country grows the most so we can put money back into the country. Our food pyramid is completely different than all of Europe. Europe has different versions of the food pyramid based on their climate. Based on the climate of France, you should eat these. Based on the climate of here, you should eat these food groups. Because they know you need that to handle whatever the weather, the warmth, the colder weathers. We go based on what we grow here the most. So our food pyramid is high in breads, flours, and grains. Now going back to the school thing and the sugar, this is how it works. So GMO, most people don't know what it means. It means genetically modified organism. So what these companies do, they found a way to mutate the eggs or the cell, as we know as the seed, mutate the seed of certain type of foods. By what they do is they actually inject a virus. Some of them you know of because we hear them all in the news. You wonder why all these food outbreaks happen. They inject E. coli. They eject, what's the other one? Is E. coli, and there's another one that's out of food. It's out of beef. I'm gonna look it up now. So I have everything.
Not
So
the
much
mad
stuff.
cow disease.
No, that's different. Now, mad cow disease started. They wanted to pump the cows quicker, faster. So they was feeding the blood of the cows that they killed to the babies in the formula. Because they don't let the baby cows nurse from the moms because they need that milk to make money. So they feed them formula. And that's how developing the mad cow from listeria. There it goes, the listeria. They inject that in. So what they do is, why people are so addicted to sugar is they found a way to mutate certain crops. We mutate in America the most soy, corn, and wheat. And our food pyramid says on the bottom, the things you eat the most is beans, grains, and wheat. So what they did with the corn, which causes the huge issue with the sugar addiction, is they found a way to inject sunflower DNA into a corn seed. Most people don't realize that there's multiple different types of corn, especially in Mexico. You can get corn that's purple, get corn that's blue, get corn that's red. We don't have that in America. Mostly we just see the yellow. Once in a while you see the white. White corn's real corn. The yellow corn is the genetically mutated version of the white corn. It's yellow because it's been injected with a sunflower seed DNA, so it grows yellow. So what happens is when you grow that corn stalk, one stalk has one bundle of corn, usually 1 to 3 pieces. Now with the GMO corn, it grows faster, and one stalk can leave up to 7 to 11 pieces of corn because it grows like a flower. Now, the other big thing was the big reason of all this GMO started is they want to yield maximum product without losses. The biggest loss to anything grown is bugs, which is a natural thing. Bugs everywhere. So they actually found a way to mutate the seeds of these crops to make them immune to a specific pesticide. How they do that? Actually, similar to how we get a flu shot. We inject you with a dead flu cell. So when you get the flu, your body already knows what to do. You don't even really get as sick. You may not get sick at all. So they inject this crop. That's why it's called GMO. It's an organism. You can't call it corn no more because it got corn in it. It got sunflower in it. It got some pesticide DNA in it. So now it grows. It's immune to this pesticide. So the farmers are still toxic to them. So they dress up in hazmat suits. They douse all these crops in this toxic pesticide. Crops are fine. All the bugs die. Everything dies off. But the side effect is, since it doesn't kill the plants, when they water the crop, all those pesticides get absorbed back into the crop. So there's something called the dirty dozen. It's specific foods of fruits and vegetables that actually absorb the highest amount of pesticides. Strawberries is one of them. Spinach, kale, collard greens, mustard greens, peaches, pears, nectarines, apples, grapes, peppers, cherries, blueberries, and green beans. If you always find out, a lot of these stuff are dirt cheap. They have them in cans, they have them everywhere because of that. The other one is corn, as we know. So now you have all these gigantic corn crops. How are you going to make people eat more corn? You find ways to mutate it. So they mutate it again. They boil it and they press it. They get this water. Then they bake the water. They bake the water down to the most simplest form, which is a starch. They boil that down. Once all the water is out, you're left with a syrup. That is how you get high fructose corn syrup. And that's one of the highest forms of toxic sugars. It is 15 times sweeter than sugar. And you could use it on anything because it's clear and it has no taste at all to it other than just the sweetness. People starting to catch on how toxic this is. Your body cannot digest it. So your body turns it straight to fat. And that's how you end up developing fatty liver disease. Fatty liver disease happens when your body can't break down the fat and the fat grows on other places and attaches to your organs to try to filter it. So now what they do is, just in case people try to catch on to it, wordplay. So instead of using high fructose corn syrup, they'll change it to just say corn syrup, or they'll change it to just say fructose, because it's all the same thing. It's a liquid version. It's just liquid sugar from a vegetable or fruit. So if you look on the ingredients, you'll see corn syrup, fructose, which is the same thing, high fructose corn syrup. They always tell you when you're looking at ingredients, the first 5 things are usually the top things they put in the food. Legally, they don't need to tell you the percentages. So some stuff, especially ketchup, if you have any kids with skin issues, acne issues, change the ketchup. You see high fructose corn syrup at the beginning. You see tomatoes, then you see tomato puree, and then you see corn syrup, which is basically they double it up on there without even telling you. In the ingredients, that's to preserve it. High fructose corn syrup is a great preserve because it turns to like a thick wax layer when it sits. You see that with cookies. You see that with frozen foods. You'll see that a lot of frozen dinners. Like when you buy those frozen dinners with the meat in it, they coat the meat in that so you can't notice it. If you actually look on McDonald's, there was a documentary a gentleman did. He fat, sick, and nearly dead. He literally all he ate was McDonald's. And he explained just to see what happened to his body. He was a runner, wanted to challenge his body. So he ended up noticing that everything McDonald's sells has sugar in it, even the salads. If you ever notice you buy salads from McDonald's, it never looks welted. They have a liquid sugar that they spray it and coat it. So when it's so considered refrigerated for months, and it'll still look green. It won't be as dark. That's why the salad is always that light tinge of green, because so much sugar's been doused on it because sitting in that refrigerator. It's everywhere because it's so cheap.
Wow. Wow. And they put it in certain urban areas, I would say. I think you
Oh
had
yeah,
said they'll put it in certain areas to make it cheap, but you're gonna
it's
buy
in
more.
syrup.
And if you buy more, you consume it, then you gotta
Yeah,
go to the doctors, you gotta pay the bill, then you gotta get medication. So
we all
wow.
at the end of the day, we all are gonna pay. We have two options though. Am I gonna pay with the grocery bill because the favorite excuse is, oh, I can't afford to do that. I can't afford to do that.
Right.
If you can't afford that. What things will happen when you get that medical bill? You're gonna have a pharmacy in your kitchen because of all the medications you gotta get. You gotta get your blood pressure, you gotta get your insulin medication, and then that's gonna make you retain water. That's now you need a water pill. Now the water pill may mess up your stomach, so now you need a pill to help for your stomach, digestive pill. You got acid reflux, now you need a reflux pill. Next thing you got 17
There go
medications
my
in there.
hat. Oh my gosh. Go ahead. Oh, go ahead. I'm
and,
just
and it builds up. And then so the doctors are legal drug dealers. They understand most of the medical books. If you look at them, they're paid by a company. They're paid by a pharmaceutical company. They don't teach no one in med school about food. They teach them
wow.
he has high blood pressure, give him a statin. He has high cholesterol, give them a statin. You have high blood pressure, give him this pill. Oh, he's a pre-diabetic. The favorite medication to give to pre-diabetics is
Mhm.
metformin. On the label of metformin, it tells you if you take this for long periods of time, it will make you into diabetic. It will make you become insulin resistant,
Wow. This is good stuff.
and then it got you.
Someone asked, "Do you know anything about the seedless food we know we see more of?"
Oh, because it's easy. Because that's part of the GMO. This is the next part. Thank you for starting that, Mother Beverly. Okay, so we're gonna go into the plus. Then we're gonna transition into that. So
Okay.
everyone that goes shopping, I know if you haven't, I'm gonna bring it up to you now. Have you ever noticed these weird stickers that are on every fruit and vegetable? It's a weird sticker. Usually, sometimes they're round, or sometimes it's like a little barcode sticker, but it's numbers on there. The first number of that barcode, well, the sticker itself is called a PLU, PLU. The first number of that barcode or the number of that sticker tells you exactly how it was made. So if it's a 4, most places have 4s. 4 basically says this is a real fruit. Since it's real, we'll have seeds. It grows in the dirt, but it is sprayed with pesticides. They don't need to tell you how many. They don't need to tell you how much. They don't need to tell you which one. Most people don't even know that. It's for the supermarket to know. The reasons for the supermarket to know so they know not to mix things up between the expensive and the cheap stuff because they make sure to maximize their money. If it's a 3, threes are horrible. Never touch a threes. This is what you going into, Mother Beverly, with the whole seedless fruits. Threes are genetically modified fruits and vegetables. They are 100% fake. Their dates, some of them don't even touch dirt. They grow them indoors in petri dishes with water and chemicals in the water. That's why sometimes you see tomatoes will be really shiny and bright, and they all look completely identical because they're clones. They'll get the one seed, grow it into the fruit, and then they actually will make copies of this seed, alter them, and keep on growing the same fruit over and over and over and over and over. And every time a fruit grows, they'll pull a seed out and then they'll keep on growing it. They do it so much that now the seeds basically become infertile. So the crop basically is useless. And that's how you get the seedless stuff. It grows so fast from being mutated because they never see the light of day. They use laser lights. They use chemically altered lights. They'll make a fake sun basically. So in the morning they'll have yellow white light, and as the time goes down to trick the plants, the lights will change to a red blue, which simulates the moon, and it'll grow quicker. Bug free. You could do it too. Like I grow my own vegetables in the winter for the summer. I have all those lights. I set them up in my basement, and I grow my seeds in January. And by the time May hits, I could put them outside. Saves money all summer, saving vegetables. But they do it in the big scale, and they use artificial hydroponic systems, but they use chemicals in it. Chemicals, fertilizer, chemicals, protein, iron, everything that's in dirt, they'll put a chemical version to get it to grow. And they just keep on growing these copies of the same one. That's why they're always on sale. The reason that they always put them on sale because they don't last long. If you notice, when certain vegetables, certain stuff you bring home, they'll be home for 2-3 days. All of a sudden, they get mushy. That's because they're decomposing. They have if you're ever in the supermarket, and especially ShopRite, you could catch them sometimes. If you're ever in the supermarket and those little squirter things go off on the vegetables, touch it and lick it. See what it tastes like. It tastes horrible. It's nitrogen oxide with carbon inside a liquid form, and it shocks the fruit, almost like how you embalm a dead body. It shocks the fruit, so it doesn't realize that it's not on the tree anymore, that it needs to decompose. Because naturally, how it works is the fruits that are ripe or too ripe will fall from the tree, and it'll decompose. The seed will go in the ground, it'll grow a new tree. So
Wait, so
avoid
that's
that.
not water? I thought that was water.
Lick it one time. It's not water. It's
Oh,
gonna be
I
bitter. It's gonna be
got.
the most bitter thing you ever tasted in your life. It's bitter.
Oh,
Tongue dries
oh,
up.
niggas
It's
go.
weird. Yeah, it ain't water.
Oh my gosh! Did anybody know that in the chat? Put in the chat if you knew that or not. Brother Isaac,
Only way I can explain is to taste it. I try to tell
you are
people,
on
don't
point.
take me for what I say. Take your taste buds for it. Try the donut. Do it tomorrow morning. I'm gonna get one donut, and I'm just gonna drink water for 2-3 hours. See what happens to your mouth. I tell people this,
Wow.
which is the next thing, is the big important clue codes are the expensive stuff. It's number 9. Number 9 says this thing is 100% organic. It uses all natural everything, all natural. Probably most of the pesticides they use is probably aloe vera oil. They
Mm-hmm.
have their own all natural type of pesticides that they use that is non-toxic, and they don't mess with it. They don't mess with the dirt. Similar to like California. California always has drought issues. Be very careful when you buy fruits and vegetables from California, because they have drought issues. What they do for their crops, they take used motor oil, old engine oil, and they stir it in the dirt. Keeps the dirt black, and you know what happens when you mix water with oil? It separates.
Yes.
So when they douse these fields with water, the water will dry up. It just sits on the top so the plants can absorb it.
What is P?
Oh,
Peel?
peel. Okay. So during the pandemic, our friend Bill Gates is deciding that he should dictate to the world what is healthy eating. If you look at his body type, you can see he's one of the most unhealthiest persons in the world. He has mastitis, I think, I believe. Okay, so when you eat too much soy as a male, you develop boobs, like female boobs, very droopy female boobs. He has that. So he's been buying all these crops all through the pandemic behind people's back to push this whole new agenda of eating healthy. So Appeal is this synthetic coating that, as always, he got the FDA to approve. And now they're trying to douse the organic fruits and vegetables with this toxic chemical. So people sued for the rights to see what it is. It's the reason they said it's organic is because it has citric acid, which is vitamin C. 1% citric acid, 99% chemicals. They approved it. So the idea, it's a spray coating that preserves it, that keeps the fruit or vegetable from rotting. But on the sticker, it will say, this is Peel certified. It says, before you eat, please soak in boiling hot water. Why I have to put my fruits and vegetables in boiling hot water? And that's to get the chemical to wash off. But as we know, anything that grows from the ground absorbs water. If you spray something with water, at some point, it's going to absorb it. If chemical, water, whatever it may be. And that's what he's trying to do with that. He's also the person that is the big proponent of Beyond and Impossible Burgers, that whole vegan beef thing. So in Europe, they have done studies that they said that what they do is they use genetically modified beet juice to make it thicker, to make it simulate blood, make it simulate that tenderness. They did studies on rats, and it gives them thyroid cancer and mouth cancer.
Brother
But
Isaac, Brother Isaac,
huh,
I love those Beyond the Burger. You got me stumped. I love Beyond Burgers,
Morning
so I'm
Star is
messing.
another one. I used to do Morning Star. If I'm in a rush, I'll grab a Morning Star vegan burger. That'll be my vegetable for the day. Right on the label, it says bioengineered vegetables. This is made with bioengineered vegetables, which is
The
basically
Morning Star
GMO.
one.
Yep. And that's how they wordplay. Instead of saying GMO, they said bioengineered. Pure tea, it says bioengineered tea leaves.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, the strawberry comparison. Okay, yes, back to before.
Okay, go ahead. Go
Um,
ahead.
it's so much stuff. I'm trying to like squeeze it all in an hour. It ain't gonna happen. But taste buds are the key. Spend a little extra money, buy those organic strawberries. They're gonna taste 20 times different than what you normally buy, because that's what strawberries supposed to taste like. That's what real fruit sugar is supposed to taste like. Do the same thing with bananas. You ever notice why you get gnats in your house when you have bananas? They're doused with so many chemicals that the bugs inject their eggs into the skin and die. Gnats only live but 3 days. So now you have this pesticide that's getting them sick. So what gnats do, they know before they're going to die. They release their eggs into something. So when you buy a regular banana, once it comes home, because after they spray all those chemicals in the supermarket, the heat gets to it, those eggs hatch. The eggs start flying around your house. Buy organic bananas and let it sit on your shelf. You may not even, most people don't even get any gnats at all. And that's because they're not laying the eggs. You might get a few here and there if they're tied up in the bag, but even the bananas are going to taste so much sweeter than regular bananas. The idea is taste. Spend the extra money. Buy that little $9 strawberries. Buy that $12 raspberries, and stay away from the $4 ones. And you can see the difference is going to catch you. I always catch family members with taste. They say, wow, this beef tastes different. This fruit don't taste the same. Most people don't know tomatoes are actually a fruit. Tomatoes are really sweet if you get them organic, sweet and juicy, but they get altered so much. They even had a news report talking about injecting tomatoes with flavoring because tomatoes are coming out so bland, nobody's buying them. Okay, number 9. Backtrack to the plus. The number 9 plus are 100% organic. That's the main thing you got to look for. If it's not in the packaging that says certified organic or USDA organic, you're gonna see that plus sticker. Now, what makes organic so expensive is the USDA, because it's funded by the corporations, don't want people to do organic. So these companies have to pay crazy amounts of money just for certification. And part of certification is they have to be open to a USDA agent coming to their farm or crop whenever they want to do inspections. They make it so stringent. You have to, but at the same time, it's still good because it saves us in the long run. Like they have to be a certain amount of distance from any type of meat farm because they can't share the same water from the beef farm. Most people don't realize when we have these food outbreaks, listeria, all that stuff in the fruits and vegetables, is because the crop farm is so close to the beef and animal farm that when it gets flood rainwaters, all the feces, all the urine, all the chemicals they use to keep the animals clean floods over and mixes with the regular rainwater and it floods the crops. And so, as always, plants absorb what's in the water, so they absorb all that bacteria.
Okay, we had two. Thank
It's a
you.
lot,
I'm
right?
going back and say thank you. We got two questions. So, does it matter if you wash the produce? And the other one, where can you get to buy the fruit you're talking about?
That's where it gets difficult. If you're in the inner city, it gets a lot harder because there's many things you see in the inner city. You always see a church, a liquor store, a number one Chinese restaurant. There's 15 number one Chinese restaurants, a Kennedy Fry, Kentucky Fried, Save a Lot, Family Dollar, Dollar General, somewhere. So based on where you live, you may have to go outside your area. Adams has some stuff, but if it's not specialized in that, you're going to pay more money. So Adams has a very small organic section, but certain stuff they have good. Nature's Pantry is the best, but I don't go to Nature's Pantry because it's so expensive. It's a niche market. Everything in there is 100% organic or natural everywhere. But because it's that way, it's super small. The stuff doesn't last as long. They're not going to have 50 million apples stacked to the ceiling. They only have like 20 apples because they don't last that long. So they're gonna jack up the price so they can stay open. So you have to shop around. I do my round. I go to Walmart to get my organic grass-fed beef, which I'll talk about that another time. That's a whole nother subject because it's cheaper there. I loop around. I go to Aldi's. I get my eggs there, my grain-fed eggs, grass-fed eggs because it's cheaper there. I grab some of the jellies there because it's cheaper there. On my way back, I swing over to Adams. I get my fruits and vegetables from there. Sometimes I go to Stop and Shop if certain things they have, and I just come home. I do a quick loop. Unfortunately, it takes 2-3 hours, but that's time I save from not being sick, not having joint pain, not having acid reflux.
Okay, so let me just bring up something real quick. Now, because one time I went to Walmart, I don't know, someone probably did that, maybe a customer or whatever. I went to buy the organic, um, the grapes, came home with them. The top was good, but the bottom ones was bad. So I think they mixed them together. And this was at Walmart.
Oh no, no, what they do, Walmart gotta be careful of. So what they purposely do is they'll check the stuff to make sure they make money. They'll take good ones and put it on old ones and move it to the front to get you to buy it quicker. Always try to grab the stuff from the back. The stuff in the front is always gonna expire first. Grab it from the back. And the bottom, always flip everything over because unfortunately, yes, because it's organic, that pressure of sitting wet will make them decompose because that's natural. You're going to get mold on it naturally. So when you do buy fruits and vegetables, there's a way to soak them. You soak them in water with apple cider vinegar and baking soda. It fizzles up. You let it sit for a few minutes. You can see all these weird black particles. The fruit is actually going to start releasing the extra seeds. It's the seeds that spoil. When the seeds are wet and they're not being put anything, they start to spoil. That comes up. Also, any type of bugs that may be stuck on there start lifting up too. Rinse it all off. They recommend putting it in glass jars. It'll last a week longer. You get an extra 7 days out of it.
Okay, one of the questions, because of shelf life, should we can?
That's exactly what I'm going to. Yes, put them in a can. Put them in glass cans.
No, I think what I mean, should they buy can? Oh, that's what you mean.
Uh,
Should we can or should we buy can?
Everything canned, you lose nutritional value because they have to find a way to preserve it. And a lot of the like Dole, Chiquita, they preserve it using a corn syrup water base. Other companies use a salt base. So that's the problem. If you have problems with hypertension, now you're having something that's sweet with salt water in it. You don't want to do that. Take time, buy fresh, eat it, buy enough you know you're going to eat for a few days.
You're right. They meant, no, I meant glass jars. They
Yes, they
meant can,
recommend
yes.
putting in glass jars to last
My
longer.
apologies.
Mhm. I don't. I buy enough just to eat because I don't have a whole refrigerator for glass jars because they're gonna fall and gonna break. So I wrap them up. I put them in a paper towel. That's another thing you could do. Wrap them up in a paper towel. Paper towel absorbs the extra moisture. Put them back in the lid. Put them in the refrigerator.
The question was, so do health food stores sell all organic food?
Yes and no. They will sell all natural food. Majority of it will be organic. Some of it will be all natural, which is a way companies avoid paying for the certification. Also, they can mix stuff. They could put 85% organic and they can have that 10% not organic and slip it in there. So you got to be careful with that. Same thing with, you see that a lot with peanut butter. Now put me on another tangent. Kids have a lot of peanut allergies. Kids aren't allergic to peanuts. Kids are allergic to the chemicals we put in peanuts. There is a chemical, a preservative, I should say. I want to spell it right. This is stuff you need to look for. This is the main thing I want to get to you. Spend some extra time. Wait till the kids go to bed. Wake up before the kids get up. Get your phone out and just start Googling ingredients. Figure out what you're putting in your body, what you're giving them. Hellmann's is notorious for this. You get it also in peanut butter. It's called soy lecithin. It's the word soy. The other letters is LECITHIN. It's a soy filler. Now, what makes soy such a major product that's produced in America? It has no taste, and the lecithin is almost like a creamy consistency, so it has no color. So they mix it in with everything to save money. Hellman's puts it in their mayonnaise. If you look at Hellman's mayonnaise, you'll see they'll have sugar in there. They use the sugar to cover the soy, so you don't read this weird, funny consistency taste that comes out of it. It's heavy in peanut butter. It's heavy in such a level that you don't even know how much is real peanut butter, how much is soy. You also
That
get it in hazelnut Nutella. That was my
yeah.
favorite until I saw how much sugar is in it. It's about the jar itself. 30% of that jar is sugar because they don't want you to taste the soy that's mixed in with the chocolate and the hazelnut to save money. Any type of nut butters, you're gonna see
Yeah.
soy lecithin in there, and that's a filler, so they can make more money. I'm gonna sell you because this hazelnut cost me $9 to process it. So how am I
Mm-hmm.
gonna save that? I can take $3 of it, give that to you, put soy in it, put sugar in it, make you think you like it, and then use the other batch to make another jar.
Okay, so before we got a couple more questions, Brother Eyes, I thank you. And we're gonna come back again, and the next topic is gonna be gut health, I think you said.
Yes, gut health.
Okay, so we're gonna come back again, y'all. When I put it posted, make sure y'all write it down. We're gonna talk about gut health. But before we close out, there's a few questions on here. Well, it's three. What type of mayo should we eat? Should it be, I guess, almond butter? Is almond butter better? I tried that, and but
It's in
anyway.
all the butters, but I should go. Got more questions to get all the questions out first. That's all
Okay,
three of
yeah.
them?
This one, yeah. What type of mayo should we use? The second one is almond butter better, and then the third is, oh yeah, she said that is true. Buy from the back. So those two questions right there.
Okay. The best here's it's a tricky one because if you have what real mayo tastes like, you're not gonna like it. Mayo is actually similar to mustard. It's a bitter taste. You can actually make mayonnaise. Real mayonnaise is just the egg yolk heated up with a little bit of vinegar and salt, and it thickens up to this consistency. So they have avocado mayonnaise. Don't buy the olive oil one because or canola oil. Canola oil is disgusting. Olive oil, a lot of olive oils are fake. But get the and you're gonna weird. It's gonna be really slimy, almost greasy. Okay, that's what mayonnaise is supposed to be like. It's supposed to be this weird, like almost salad dressing consistency, not thick and floppy like what's the other nasty one they put on sandwiches? Miracle Whip. That's the sugar, pickles, and chemicals. Yes, yes. If they don't put high fructose corn syrup, they use salt, and they don't use real salt. They make synthetic salt. They use the salt that they put on the roads when it snows. That's why people get high blood pressure. Salt actually lowers your blood pressure. All natural sea salt, it actually it cleans it detoxifies your blood. Actually does the opposite. But the fake synthetic salt that they put on the ground is full of chemicals, and that gives you high blood pressure because your body can't digest it. That's what the next thing with gut health. Certain things your body naturally knows this is not real. I don't want this.
That's interesting that you said that because your body, if you don't consume sugar, because I stopped you might have something on this topic. I stopped using white sugar, so I'll use like in the raw. I'm not sure if there's any big difference, but I stopped using the white sugar and try to like change the little things in my life. But
Yes,
I do see the difference when I try to consume sugar. It's it's too much.
yes, 100%. You can't. When I first started learning about this stuff, I wanted to throw everything out in my refrigerator because I was fine. I was looking at these ingredients, these chemicals, and I said it was everywhere. I wanted to burn my apartment down. I would blow up the refrigerator. You can't do that. You're gonna go broke. So as things wear out in your cabinet, replace them with something better. I don't know about real salt, Celtic salt. Yes, Celtic salt's good. I've been using Himalayan salt, but now that's because it's a big name thing. They're starting to mess around with that too. So Celtic salt is kind of the safest option out there because it's just basically salt water.
All right, before we close out, y'all, anybody have any more questions? Because this is a lot, and I know there's a lot more questions y'all have. We might have to do part 1A, B, and then go on because
Oh,
this is
also for you,
amazing.
Juanita, look
Yes.
into alcohol sugars. That's what I do. Most low carb diets recommend using the alcohol sugar.
Okay.
I call it the vias. It's Truvia, stevia. You can
Uh-huh.
also use monk fruit. And what alcohol sugars do is actually the sap from the inner piece of the bark. So
Okay.
because it turns into alcohol in your body. So as we know, alcohol you really don't digest in your stomach; you digest in your kidneys. So alcohol sugar skips the stomach, goes to the kidneys. It's about 4 to 5 times sweeter than sugar. You don't need a lot. It has a funny taste to it though. After a while, you get used to it, but it actually goes right in your kidneys and comes right out. So the only downside with that is it will dehydrate you if you're not drinking a lot of water. Idea is if you drink enough water, it benefits you anyway. So you take this, start drinking water. Water naturally flushes everything out, and that's the beginning stage for you for gut health later on.
We got questions coming in. One is blue GABA okay to consume? And sugar and foods keep you addicted and sick.
Of
So the
course, our brain
question,
loves sugar. So what happens in our brain is we have two hormones that goes off in our brain, similar to fight or flight. So one of them is a pleasure hormone. You see that with chips. Way back in the day, you see that commercial. I dare you to only eat one chip, and you can never do it because what they do with potato chips is they add sugar to it to make you crave it. They just put so much salt you don't realize it. So what happens is certain points, how your brain responds to sugar is similar to how your brain will respond to cocaine, but also how your brain responds to after you have sex. It's a pleasure hormone. That's why people eat when they're depressed because they release this extra pleasure hormone. And same thing happens with drug addicts. What happens with heroin and crack addicts is they get that pleasure and they call it chasing the high. They reach this high pleasure that's so amazing, but now the body gets used to it. So guess what? You got to do more. Same thing with food. I used to drink a can of soda. Now I drink 2 cans of soda a day. Or I used to never eat ice cream. Now I eat ice cream every night. It builds because your body gets adapted. That's why it's hard to transition. You're gonna notice it. If you try the Truvia, it's gonna taste so nasty to you because your body's not gonna want it. It doesn't trigger the brain. Now it goes with the agave. It's called glycemic index. Simple stuff you guys can spend time Googling. The glycemic index. What it does is scientists have found a way to actually figure out when you ingest sugar, how high will it trigger in your body, your sugar levels in your blood. So they figure out what the base level glycemic index is. So part of glycemic index, they use regular plain cane sugar as your base level. Sugar has this glycemic index. Now, anything else that's above it is a no-no. Everything that's under it is good for people, especially with diabetics or pre-diabetes, people want to lose weight. Blue agave is practically almost similar to sugar. It does the same thing your body as regular sugar.
wow. Brother Isaac, thank you so much for taking out your time to coming on here.
Sure.
I appreciate it. I know everybody on here that's on this live right now appreciate it. Come on, y'all give some hearts and likes to Brother Isaac. I knew it. I thank you.
So
Thank
here's
you.
one more thing. I actually pulled it up. The glycemic index of sugar is 63. The
50.
glycemic
Wow.
index of maple syrup is 58. The glycemic index of any type of agave syrup is about 54 to 27 per tablespoon. That's a little tablespoon.
How about honey? Someone asked, how about honey?
Um, Honey's up there, but real honey has a lot of things. There's this fake honey and real honey. We can't start into that. But honey's low on the glycemic index as long as it's natural, but it's not that low. It's like 58 compared to sugar. But that's because it's filtered. There's raw honey, and raw honey has all these vitamins, minerals. If you have anybody with allergies, do raw honey. It looks weird. It's like white and creamy. It's really, really thick and it's gritty because it has all the minerals and pollen. Brown honey is when they boil everything out of it and they strip the water because you make more money.
Wow. I know we're going to close out because I don't want to keep Brother Isaac long because we got more sessions coming up. So if y'all have any questions or anything, please post them in here at this live because there are going to be millions of people watching this video because we're live on Facebook and we're also live right now on YouTube on my channel. So there's going to be a lot of people that's going to see this, and we thank Brother Isaac for taking out his time for sharing his knowledge. I've been talking about this. I'm like telling my brother, get on here. He has so much to share, and this is to get it out there to for us into the kingdom of God, because we know we're the and I got the idea. Well, not me, but it came to me to call it the series "The Temple." All right, so like you had already started off with everything, so I appreciate everybody for coming on here, Brother Isaac. Thank you so much. Sister Kay, thank you, sister, for lending your husband for come on here. I appreciate that. Everybody's saying thank you. This was awesome. We have to come back again, Brother
Yes,
Isaac,
definitely.
but I know the next one is called Gut Health. That's part 2. All right. So we appreciate everybody. And I always close out on every platform that I'm on. It's not over until God says so. So on that note, we thank everybody. We're gonna bid y'all a good night. Have an awesome night, and don't forget, because look at my thing. Look at my paper. I got stuff written all over it. And the beautiful thing about it, you can come back and watch this. It's going to be on my page, my main page here. It's going to be on the round table as well, and it's going to be on my YouTube. It's going to be there, so you can go back. You can share this with your coworkers, with your friends, with whomever. Please share this. Just don't receive the stuff and not take heed to it, and do all the stuff that he put down, because there's a lot of stuff I need to go back and check out. Okay. Good night, everybody. I thank you. Have a good night, because my grandbaby behind me now trying to get my attention. So I thank y'all. Have a good night, and we'll see you soon. Keep checking the page. If you have not joined the A Round Table Talk, please go in there and hit a like so you can follow, so you won't miss anything. I appreciate y'all. Have a good night. God bless.